section, we're going to be talking about introduction to Maya interface and navigation. So I would like to divide this into different parts so that it doesn't get so long and boring and all that. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is going to be getting started with Maya, and we're going to be talking about overview of Maya's interface and layout. We're going to be talking about understanding the main components, which are viewports, menus, and toolbars, and we're going to be talking about introduction to channel box, which we're going to be talking about introduction to channel box, attribute editor, and outliner. So I remember quite about a few years ago, I wanted to teach a student, and he comes and I opened the software, and he sees a lot of menus and be like, no, this is not for me, but actually it is for you. This is just all the things you see here, they are just shortcuts. What you need to learn majorly or mainly are this, which are the main menus. So other things that you see underneath all this, there are shortcuts that are embedded inside all these main menus. So the programmers of the software just doesn't want you to be going back and forth, opening. I want to create something, I go to create, and I create it. So if I want to create a polygon primitive, maybe a cube, I can easily just come here and click here, then I will have my cube. So I will undo that. So basically that is it. That is not big, it's not a big deal. Maya is not a big deal. Anybody can learn Maya, so it's that simple. So getting started with Maya, we'll be talking about overview of Maya interface and layout. So Maya interface, we have four basically, like I said, interface is all you see when you open Maya, when you're working inside Maya. This is all the things that you see, so which are main menus, you see shortcuts, you see toolbars, you see outliners and everything. All these things, they are the interface. So but majorly this is how to interact with your interface, to maneuver your mouse, to rotate your viewport like this. What you have to do is press option and left click mouse and drag. That is how to rotate the screen. Note, whatever that is inside this place, you are not rotating the object, you are rotating the interface, you are rotating the screen, not the object inside. So if you want to scale or zoom in and zoom out, it's option or alternative alt button or option, right mouse click and zoom. You drag it up and down or left and right, so it's going to zoom and the last thing, which is dragging or moving the screen, is alt or option and middle mouse click, which is my middle mouse click is faulty, it doesn't work, but because I know how to go around it, so I actually do not bother. You can actually still zoom in and out by rolling the middle mouse, just roll it, scrub it up and down, and it's gonna work. So it's gonna work. So basically that's how to interact with your screen. So we have four different views. We have perspective views, we have top, we have front, and we have side, and these are the perspective view, but I don't want to go here yet because I've not really gotten there. But to go around the views, you can press space button or space bar on your keyboard. Then this is the top, this is the front, and this is the side. So wherever you want to go, just move your mouse pointer to the place and press bar space again. So if I want to go to the side, I'll move my mouse here and press the space, the front. So basically that is, there's something, sometimes you might want to work on a particular object, but you want to see it from a particular side, so you have to do this. Let's see, I want to see my object from the top. Let's say I have my box here or cube, and I want to see it from the top. This is the top view, and this is the side view, and this is the front view. Basically that's what that does. So now all we have here in this side, there are the toolbars, we have outliners here, we have attribute editor, and if you click here you have channel box. So I will explain all those in a bit. So that is what the layout is, and let's understand the main components, which are the viewports and the menus and the toolbars. So the viewports, I think I've explained what the viewports are, which is the perspective. You can see it is written here. We have the perspective, the top, and the front and the side. Those are the viewports. These other ones, aside from the perspective, the front, side, and the top, is called orthographic view. Orthographic view, in case you don't know. So I'm going back here. So that is what the viewport is. We have menus. These are the menus. So all these ones, I call them submenus because they are shortcuts that are embedded inside menus. But you don't want to keep going inside to create polygons, queue space all the time. So inside under the polygon modeling or polymodeling, you have all this. And if you're working on animation, you can have all these rendering as well. You can have all this. So instead of you saying create cameras, you can literally just click on this place and you have your camera created without having to go into the main menus. That is what all the menus are. So I can say modify, freeze transformation, that is reset all the transformations I've worked on objects. I will explain it in the future class, and Boolean and all that. So all these, they are just the main menus, and all what you need to know. Basically, most of the shortcuts that you'll be using often, they are under the shortcuts. So that is what the menus are for. And we have the toolbars. The toolbars, the tools that we use here, these are the toolbars. All the things that we have here, they are the tools. So the toolbars are, the first one we have select tool. Imagine you have multiple objects. I'll go back to the polymodeling and I can create maybe cube. So we have multiple objects here. To select an individual object, you can use the select tool and select. You can see I've selected the cube, I've selected another one. So that is what select tool is. This is lasso tool. Lasso tool, I basically almost never used it. So I'm gonna do something for a bit now. So let's assume I have let's say I have 4 different objects in my screen or in my workspace, and I want to select just the middle object, these 2 center objects. So all I have to do is go to the lasso tool, then I can select, leaving the other 2 out. So then it's to select the 2. So that's what the lasso tool is. I can select this, I can select this and this. You can see it selected the 2, leaving these 2 cones out. So that is what the lasso tool does. This, I've never used it. What it does is, say you are on a particular mode, object mode, so you can really select this. See, this is you can use it to paint as well. So that's what they use it for. Don't worry, you understand it as time goes on. I don't want to go and bore you with what you don't need yet. This is move to. Move to is actually select a particular object. I'm going back to object mode. Select an object and move it around. You can see I can select this, move it around. That's what move to does. And I have rotate to. Rotate to is you can rotate. So I skipped something. We have I skipped something under the viewports. Viewports, actually, we have the axis, because we are dealing with 3D software, which literally means 3-dimensional software. So whatever that you have has to be 3 dimension, which are X, Y, and Z. X, Y, and Z. So X, Y, and Z, they are the 3-dimensional axis that we have inside the software. So to be able to determine what axis am I on, so you can actually determine that by looking at the axis that we have here. You can see this is green. So the green one, anyone you select will have yellow actually. So the green one here is Y axis. The blue one is z axis, while the red is x axis. So if I hold the green axis and I rotate, it means I'm rotating about y. If I click the red and I rotate, it means I'm rotating about x. And if I pick the blue and rotate, I'm rotating about z. So basically that's how to determine, I'm going to undo. That's how to determine what axis you're working on, or which is which out of the 3 axes. So basically that is it. So now that we have that one sorted, let's go to the channel box. Let's go to the channel box. Channel box is at the right corner here. You can see we have channel box here, or layer editor. Basically it's channel box. So channel box is whatever things that I've done here. You can see that this object here, I've moved it, that is translate. So I've moved it to along z axis in 6.614 units. So that is what, or centimeter, that is what that is implies. So if I select this, you can see I've moved this one along the z axis as well. So whatever that you've done here, if I rotate this, you can see it's affected here. That's anti-clockwise rotation. You can see minus 132 degrees. So whatever that you have done, if I rotate this, if I scale it, you can see I have the scale change here. So if I want to take this object back to its original position and the size, I'll go back to the default size, which is 1, and then all this, the rotates, I'll make it 0. So you can see it's back to the origin where it was created. You can see where it was created. So actually focus on a particular object, on a selected object. Just select the object and press F. That's for focus. So the reason why I've not really used the lasso tool is because I actually just highlight, I just highlight. So if I want to select these 2 objects, I just highlight without having to select this lasso tool. So this is, I don't understand why that is there when this is here. So I can select this, and if I want to select this and this, instead of going to lasso tool, selecting this and this like this, I would rather just go back to my select to select this and shift select this. I can select multiple objects pressing shift. So basically I don't know why I need the lasso tool. So basically when I was learning, I was using a lot of shortcuts keys. I was learning alongside, so it makes your job faster, makes it easier and all that kind of thing. So let's go to attribute editor. Attribute editor is like I said, don't get this confusing. We have channel box, then we have attribute editor. Channel box is the translate, the rotate, and the scale. But attribute editor is it stores the memory, it stores the history of whatever that you've done, and it really works on attributes. I don't know how to say this. Attributes, I think attributes is more like effects. If I go to say vertex mode and I select this vertex and I maybe move the vertex just to create a particular shape, do you understand? So this would store in the history. It will tell me that at this particular time you've done this on this particular object. So it stores the history. It's where I can the physical changes or the physical effects on the object, like the color of this particular object. The color, the material is called Lambert. So this is the material for this. So if I want to change this, I can, because this is the default color, so it will change all the objects here. Do you understand? Because that's the default. So when you create an object, the default is color is Lambert. So you can see what I was talking about. So whatever that you've done on this, it stores the memory. So that is where you see the physical effects. Physical effects, translation, scale, they are effects as well, but they are not attributes. They are not something that is attributed to the particular object. I don't know how else to say this, but as we move on with the tutorial, you understand what attribute editor does better. So we have outliner. Outliner is basically the text representation of the objects, or any object that you have, or anything that is in your view. Like I said earlier, I said we have perspective view, we have side view, front view, and the top view. View means something you can see through, and basically what we can see through is usually digitally, it's called camera. So if you come to the outliner, you can see the 4 cameras. We have the perspective, the top, the front, and the side, and these 4 objects, they are the 4 objects that we have here. And the light is, I used to say something: without light there is no sight, and without sight there is no light. Or what is light without sight? So if you can see and there is no light, everywhere is dark, you still can't see. And if you are blind and there is light, you still can't see. So we need light to see whatever we are doing here. So the reason why you can see this here is because we have a default light, and also the default object is whatever you can see here, it's object. So basically that is it. So that is it. This object set allows you to have this object here. So basically that is what that outliner is all about. So to recap, we've spoken about Maya's interface and layout. We've spoken about the main components, which are the viewports, the menus, and the toolbars. And we've spoken about the channel box, the attributes editor, and the outliner. So basically, that is what we have for getting started with Maya. I really appreciate you guys. I hope this thing record. I'm going to check it now, because this is like the 3rd try after a lot of disturbance from external forces and technical errors. I have somebody here just typing pra, 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 pra. She will not let me rest. But enough of the watawoto. So I'm saying we'll meet again, God willing. And bye bye. I'm blabbing a lot. What did you say?